Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be advised parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, I've got my little kitty Stella here. She is ready to go to work. Her job is to purr, not to be loud. A cat's purr raises the vibration to a very strong healing vibration. She takes her job very seriously. She's got happy feet right now, so she's on a roll. We have the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords can represent cutthroat energy. This is the underlying energy for the reading. So it's going to be a reading, I guess. Okay, are you almost done, Stella? Okay, settle down. She's got happy feet, so she'll circle a couple times. Sorry. But if I don't let her sit on my lap, she will cry. All right, be a good girl. All right, so this is the Five of Swords represents cutthroat energy. And this energy, it can be coming from outside of you, but it can also be internal. So external forces coming from other people, you don't have much control over that. But you do have your control over how you engage in that information or in that energy. And so this is talking about the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind if it's talking about your energy coming from within. If it's from outside of you in this card, it represents an energy of external forces coming at you and their cutthroat energy. And it's saying that you will fight to make, to stand up for yourself and maybe have done so. If it's internal forces, then it's talking about maybe you're having an inner battle with your mind, basically, about what course to take. The swords represent discipline of your mind, mental intelligence in your thoughts. And so this can represent three different versions of yourself, basically, coming together. And so your unconscious mind is the mind that is part of your soul. So that a lot of people do feel that they do have, they're a human being with a soul. But it would be more accurate to say that you are a soul traveling in a human body, and your unconscious mind can become very loud if its needs are not being met. Then we have the subconscious mind, which is your thoughts when you were young, from the baby to about 6 or 7. And babies are like sponges. They absorb their environment and like a sponge, basically. And it's heavily imprinted. And also, if you think about it, when you think about being a baby and you think about the time up to about the age of 6 or 7 when you start kindergarten, you probably don't remember very much. And most people don't. So we basically have to rely on the thoughts of the people that were in charge of our care. And so because, babies and young children are absorb so much of their environment and of the energy around them, that's what makes up our subconscious mind. It's heavily imprinted on us. And really, it's not our thoughts, it's the thoughts of the people that were put in charge of our care and their environment. So when we get triggered, that's the mind that we tend to go to first, basically. And it's not always that accurate. And then we have the conscious mind, which is what he has in his hand. He's got a handle on this. This is your own experiences, your memory of them, what you've been through. And so these are double-edged swords. So to truly have creative solutions to any problem, you need to use a combination of your logic and your intuition. It's a double-edged sword. We have immature competition here. So the Five of Wands represents an energy of immature competition. This is my Mean Girls card. So this is talking about an energy of competition. Think about narcissistic cheerleaders, you know, in school, basically. They can see the other team won, like that they were better than them, but they don't care. They have this this cutthroat energy, and they want to win no matter what, even if they deserve it or not. They want that trophy. If they don't succeed, their mothers will. And that's the kind of energy this is. As we mature, we start to realize that competition is really, any competition, even if it's in a sport or it's for a position, you know, in our career, or, you know, any energy like that. Really, it's the competition is within ourselves to be able to handle the pressure, discipline our mind, and be able to put our best foot forward. So in that energy, you know, if you see competition and you can see, wow, they're doing that better than we do it, you could observe and learn from it, and then take that energy and apply it to your next performance. And you know, all you have to do is be 1% better, and you're going to beat the rest of the competition. So this is about using the competition to learn from it and inspire you, rather than being triggered and you know, doing silly things because you feel like you need to win. We have this energy then of the Chariot coming in. The Chariot represents you being on your divine path and moving forward in a strong way. So the Chariot is like a tank. Once you're on it and you're on your divine path, on God's plan, you don't need reins. You don't need to worry about the timing. It's just tunk, 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 going to take you forward as long as you stay engaged and you are devoted to being correct in the path that you take. No reins required. We have this energy here of talking about transition. So this is about death and rebirth, and a lot of people panic when they see this card. They're like, oh my God, you know. But this rarely means an actual physical death. What this means generally is an energy of transition. So one cycle's ending and a new cycle is beginning. And this happens quite often in tarot because the major arcana, the very first card is the Fool, who is at the 0 point, and he begins a new cycle, a new journey. And at the end of that journey is card number 21, the World. And that represents the achievement that okay, this cycle is now over, and now we're going to begin another. So this is death and rebirth, the end of one cycle, moving into another. The Grim Reaper is common in a lot of cultures and represents this death and rebirth energy. And so this is the light at the end of the tunnel. As I'm doing this reading right now, we are very, very close to the equinox. And the equinox is when the day and night are equal. And so finally, yay, winter is easing off, and we are going to start having daylight in at least the same amount as night. And soon we will have more daylight than night. And this older person here is, you know, is bartering almost with the Grim Reaper, like, stay away, we don't want this change. But the young ones here, this one is offering a flower to the Grim Reaper, representing new bloom, new life. Excuse me. Okay, so this Six of Cups is a card of reconciliation. This the Six of Cups represents, first and foremost, there would have to be forgiveness, because to have reconciliation, it implies that there needs to be some sort of forgiveness to come back together. And at this time, we are just about ending the Mercury in retrograde. And Mercury in retrograde, Mercury is about communication. And so when it goes retrograde, communication goes off kilter. And quite often, it's not as accurate until we go. And there can be a lot of problems in technology. So this energy is talking about, needing forgiveness first, and forgiveness will pave the path for reconciliation. Having said that, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you want to have anything to do with them. You can forgive someone, and then that's just that energy. It's for yourself, more or less. It's so that you can heal your own heart and your energy, and let go of the burden of whatever happened, and allow yourself to move forward without that energy weighing you down. But if you, in Mercury retrograde, it's very, very common for people from your past to show up if you have unfinished business. And so sometimes this energy comes in and you have, it's going back in the past and dealing with it so that you can learn from it, but not so that you can repeat it. And so this card, the reconciliation card, sometimes can represent a reunion, like with someone that from your past, and it could be as far back as when you were a child. And it doesn't have to be about reconciling with someone that is, that you've had a relationship with or something. It could just be a reunion and you haven't seen each other for a long time. And also, this card can represent reconciliation of your childhood. This card is full of illusions, though. There's 6 cups here, and when you first look at it, it looks like children playing with these flowers and someone watching over them. But then you realize, wait a minute, that's a gnome, and this is a little old lady. Or is it? Because she's young from this side and an old hag from this side. She, this figure here actually represents, are you a people pleaser? Are you a yes person or a no person? The old hag is like, she's been there, done that, and she's like, we're not taking these stupid flowers from you. They're not even your flowers to give away. And the young woman is still being nice about it, and she hasn't learned not to people please as of yet. And the flowers are actually, white flowers in tarot represent innocence. But these flowers are anything but innocent because they're from the nightshade family and they're very toxic. If children or pets ingest these, they can become very sick. This is Datra, and Datra is also used sometimes by shamans in their ceremonies, but they have for adults, and they know they've been doing it for centuries, so they understand the exact amounts in that. It is sometimes used to empower people through vision to let go of old energies that are making them sick. And then we have this person in the background that's watching over them. When you look more closely, you realize, no, he's not. He's walking down the path. So this energy is, and she's wearing a white mitt here, and that also represents not wanting to get her hands dirty. So the old hag knows, just no, just say no. We don't want your cup. We don't want your illusions. We don't want to go back down memory lane with you. Here is the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is representing a youthful energy. And the pages would work for the king and queen from around the age of 7 to 14. And they would come from the families in the surrounding area that were like probably upper class families, like with high education. And they would work for the king and queen in the palace. And then if they were really, did a really good job of what they were doing, they might be considered for knighthood when they were 21 if they could afford a horse. But this energy, their main task was to run communication back and forth between people within the court and do small errands and tasks. And the Page of Wands is a very enthusiastic energy. If you think of a young male energy, masculine energy more, that's under the age of like 20 and really enthusiastic about life, got a feather in his cap. The pyramids here represent the mysteries of the world, so he's really enthusiastic about getting on his path in life. And his element is the wand, and the wand represents fire and action, as in here. And so when you look at him, you can tell he really admires his wand. He's looking up to it. It's made of wood. It represents passion and action. And the thing you have to keep in mind about the information that comes from him is it's quite common for him to be thinking with his little head rather than his big head. So you have to take a little bit of what he says with a grain of salt. All right, and then we're going to talk about the next card coming out is the 9 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles represents the give and take in life. And this is someone who has a more mature understanding of the ratios of give and take, how much of their energy they're willing to invest, their time, their money, and their energy into any given investment, or who they will do that with. And then understanding the give and take in life. And the energy here being of this ratio. And whenever I think of this card, I always think of Nikola Tesla, who talked about if you knew the value of the 369, the beauty of it, you would have the key to the universe. And that represents this energy of this falcon here as well. And so this energy here, she's a pre-empress energy. So the empress in the tarot represents the energy of all four queens from the minor arcana rolled into one person, and that becomes an empress energy, which means that you've had to go through enough life experience to be in this state here. So the falcon energy here is representing that foresight. And this figure, she understands, she always has her hand on this ratio. There's 6 here and 3 behind her. So she knows she has to keep 6 for herself to be able to make sure she has enough for her household to run, her businesses, her family, in case there's an emergency. And then she might have 1 pentacle that she uses for investments that are more risky, and another for going on vacations, and another maybe for charity. So this is always keeping that ratio and understanding the give and take and making sure that it's a fair exchange. And then we have the rebel with a cause. So the rebel with a cause is actually the grown-up version. So this page did make it to the knighthood. So that's awesome. And this is a more grown-up version. So he's learned now to control his emotions and his impulses. And he's ready. He's also talking about communication. Now, in the old days, the communication would be like in person. But these days we have so many ways of communicating. So for both of these, this communication could be in the form of a phone call, a text message. It could be something that comes in the mail, an email, paperwork. It could be you're on social media, get a message there. It could be an event that you see there and you go to it and then you run into someone and it's exactly the person you needed to get the information you needed. And, also the news is very helpful, because if you go into the news, if you watch the news, whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid is also happening at the bottom. And so this energy of the Knight of Wands is talking about the mysteries of the world. And like you notice now that he has discovered, he's been there and he's traveled more. The pyramids are further away. He's already had that adventure. And so this is about some information coming in that he's very passionate about, and moving forward with that. And then we have an energy of the Hermit. And the Hermit energy is talking about after a dark night of the soul and not knowing what to do, that you go to climb the mountain and you confer with God and you isolate yourself. And when the lantern is full of the energy of your north light, then you know the action to take. Your rod then becomes golden, and it's come down from the mountain and put that action into place. So I'm building a pyramid here, and this bottom row is talking about the tools you have for whatever is going on in your life right now that's coming in. And it seems like there's some competition that's been trying to prevent you getting on your designated path, but this is in transition now. And someone wants to reconcile with you. Now that would be up to you whether you do or not, but people generally do show you who they are the first time, so it's best to believe them. This also could just represent someone you haven't seen since childhood, or that kind of energy. You're more passionate now, like you feel more youthful, like you could be 90 and in this energy. It's more like these are archetypes, so this is more of an energy. And having that skill set now that you didn't have maybe back here to handle the competition and that, and also being more mature and being able to rein in your emotions. Now this is what you're working towards, to get out of this kind of cutthroat energy, away from this energy basically. And this is now, we're moving into the obstacles that you're going to encounter. So the smartest thing you could do is go inward, and you don't have to actually climb a mountain, but it's about isolating yourself so that you can get the information from and the insight from God. And then we have the Three of Cups here. Now this energy is about gossip and slander. And this information is talking about, these 3 cups are representing someone. These 3 people are toasting something and celebrating, but they're not toasting each other. They're not looking at each other. And these 3 cups here are representing something that's happened that they're celebrating. And then the energy, a lot of cultures have a superstition, that if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, that it will cause you 7 years bad luck in romance. So this is the energy of, it kind of defeats the cause. A lot of times I find when this cup comes up, it's about gossip and slander. And quite often, if there is a third party energy in a relationship, like why are there 3 people here? This energy represents, that energy of this could be one of them, or your friends could know about it or whatever. We'll see what this is. The cups don't always represent romantic love, but quite often they do. And in this, just the way that this energy is, they're in any case, they're not celebrating each other. And then we have this energy here, happiest card in the deck, yay. So this is talking about the energy shifting after going to God with the dark night of the soul. So this energy here is bringing clarity into some sort of situation here about pentacles, and possibly someone will see what this energy is about. Like this is almost like this young person, this energy is in between the younger version of this and the older. So at some point, whatever happened with this person has now raised this person to pre-empress energy, which means a lot of life experience has happened. And this information coming in from both sides, now the page is now a knight, and he's more mature as well, and his emotions are more contained. So it's something to do with that. We'll keep going here. So the Sun is the happiest card in the deck, and it means that this is when you get on your destined path. So you may have some suspicions about something that was happening. And this isn't necessarily like a third party. It could be an energy of people collaborating to get you off your destined path. That's the energy I'm getting. And for some reason, I'm getting also, this is almost like a protective energy. It's interesting. I've never really seen this before, so we'll have to keep going here and we'll see here. So this is talking about being on your destined path, and like this young child is a child of God, and that's what the sun represents. And the sunflowers are all turning to God, and they're happy. And this is about you being a happy-go-lucky child and carrying this heavy banner and being able to ride this horse. No reins, similar to this, only really innocent. And being able to carry this heavy banner of your destiny because God built you to be strong and to be able to do so. And then this is the Ace of Wands coming in. So something about here when this knight returns, when this information from this knight returns, this energy then empowers, I feel like, this pre-empress energy to move into this empress energy. May have been in the dark night of the soul. Sometimes when people go up to the top of the mountain to isolate with God, they don't ever want to come down again because it's so happy being with God. But then God gives them this is like a gift. You got to go back down there. You got to go and get on your designated path. This is what you were born to do. You need to go do it. And then we have the High Priestess coming in. So the High Priestess is talking about using your intuition and having a very strong intuition. The High Priestess is sitting in between these two pillars. And this one represents Jesus Christ, and this one represents the devil energy. And so this, she's has this crescent moon here because the High Priestess sits next to God in her throne on his right hand. And she is like a feminine, she's very, very intuitive. This is like and a joyful energy, because of course if you're hanging out with God 24/7, then you're going to be joyful. But having said that, this is an energy of being able to sit and get neutral in between these two worlds and be able to navigate through that energy and be able to use your intuition to come to strong choices to move forward. And then we have the temperance angel. And so this is talking about how devotion to your destined path, your path of glory. And this energy is a lot of times in the Bible, it says that there's 144,000 angels that God sends down in human form to earth, basically to make the world a better place, to make it more fair, to inspire people, that kind of energy. And this is this angel coming down to earth in human form, and having all this high intuitive ability and this destined path, and to be the best version of themselves and show other people how to do that as well through example, basically. And this is talking about dipping the right foot into the universal waters, is representing taking action, adding their alchemy to this water, and then the left foot is on the earth here, grounded to earth, and look at flowers are blooming already from that. And so this is saying that you've had the patience to stay on your destined path, and now the energy is shifting. You're ready to move forward. Perhaps I'm just getting it's about timing somehow. So it's hard to understand God's timing. Only God can see the real big picture. We can see parts of it. We can go inward and do our best to see as much as we can. But, sometimes the only place where there really is linear time is on earth. And so all the past and the present and the future are all mushed together. And so in the energetic world. And then we have, yes, going off to calmer shores with God. So this is about moving forward on this destined path. And I feel like there was some sort of healing of the inner child that needed to be done. And that's maybe what, this bringing you back to this energy here. So the choppy water here represents volatile emotions and wanting to get out of the chaos and move forward and have more peace and calmness in your life. And this conveyor is digging deep with this pole. It's saying like you have to really go deep and have to really, be willing to look at your dark side as well as your light side to be able to move forward and be at peace. And this energy is talking about also, a lot of times there's an adult and a child here, and you notice there's no baggage, and yet they're moving off on to, like, without anything, to the other shore. And that can represent the healing of your inner child. So now you're able to really move forward in a real, having faced your fears of the dark, basically, ready to move forward. And now this is, yes, you have a conviction. This is absolute, you know what you know, and conviction beyond a doubt. You know what your path is. You know where you're protecting your heart. This could represent these people here, and you having to defend yourself and go to higher ground to do so. And then, being now, though, willing to stand up for exactly what it is that you know that you need to do and what you know you want to do. And this person has one boot on and one shoe on. So this is talking about being caught in between two worlds and like on the precipice, straddled between the two. And so moving forward on your path and healing. And so but you know what you know, and you're willing to stand your ground now, and you're going and you're moving forward. So this is, what's going on in the tools you have. This is the obstacles, and now this is the courage to be able to do it. Yes, because this has been like, this energy, this cutthroat energy from here has been like a never-ending nightmare for you. It won't leave off. And this energy is saying, waking up in the middle of the night and you're having a it's the same old nightmare that you've had since you were a child. I used to have those kind of nightmares and night terrors, and so did my children. And now that I know more about it, recognizing that that is something that's passed down energetically from one family to another. And so it's almost like something that is unresolved in the spiritual realm. And this energy here, though, it can also talk about, because it's sitting right on God, is talking about getting that enlightenment, which usually comes between the hours of 2 and 4 in the morning. And this energy is talking about that this quilt here has cosmic symbols on it, and it's talking about the universe has your back, and that you can that this is how it's inspiration that comes through your dreams, and it's also you enlightenment, just that you're receiving from the Holy Spirit, so that you can move forward and out of this energy. And that's what I feel has happened here from going up to the mountain and conferring with God. Okay, what's my next steps? And so this is a very highly intuitive time right now. You can notice on the planet right now, there's major shifts happening. I've been really focusing a lot on the astronomical influences, because they're very intense right now, and they have a lot to do with what's happening. It's about timing. It keeps coming up, timing. But sometimes the astrological influences we barely even notice. Right now, they're pretty intense. And so again, this new moon, I'm doing this reading right now, there's a new moon in Pisces, and that energy is, I can really feel it coming in. So intuition is always more intense during those times. There is judgment coming in from the divine regarding this situation. This feels like it's an intense situation. And so the judgment is coming down, and we see that all over the planet right now. With the files that came out, how much craziness this world really is in, and how we weren't seeing a lot of what was really going on, and now a lot of the people that they were saying, there's some people, they just will, they're just making shift up, and this isn't really happening now. There's proof that a lot of what people were saying is really happening. And so this judgment is coming down on the planet right now as a whole, and within individuals' lives. A lot of, the karma is coming out, and that's what this is about. And so there could be some sort of energy here. The ancestors are literally coming out of their box, and they're cheering, because the angel is here with the trumpet saying, hey, judgment is here in the spiritual realm, and it's coming down to the physical. And this is them literally coming out of their coffins to cheer. Hey, this is coming down to earth right now, and the descendants are waving to them from across the veil here. And so this energy is talking about God's judgment coming down and setting things back in order. The universe expands and contracts, and sometimes when it expands, it gets a little out of control, and it has to come back and contract, get put back in order, and then again. We have a lot happening on the earth right now with the war in Iran. A lot of energy out there. And there's spiritual warfare also in the level above, across the veil. And then we have this energy here is the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles energy, this is the Seven of Pentacles, but there's 6 here, and it's right above this energy here. So it's talking about, instead of having this much, there's only this one here, and this person is wondering, what happened here? I've put all this energy into my work, and I'm not getting what I should out of it. And this is the situation, what this energy has caused. And so this energy, is being cleared now. And you're getting this judgment coming in, and the truth coming in is informing you, okay, it's because of this energy here. And that it's not, it's more than just you, for sure. This is about spiritual warfare. Because of this energy here, these people weren't really fighting you, they were fighting God's energy. And so now this is being righted, and We're seeing that, like people that we thought weren't going to, oh, they'll never, arrest any of these people. And now we're starting to see, particularly, like for the first time in 3 centuries, a member of the UK monarchy actually was arrested. It's like unheard of. Like, it's just like, what? And so, like, this energy is like every day there's someone else and then someone else, and the truth is coming out. And the more the truth comes out, the more justice is in. And it's really interesting because the justice that's coming in is not for what we would have thought via the crimes were like the ones that most people are most concerned with. But it's because of misappropriation of funds in government offices, etc. And that is taken very seriously by this, by the powers that be. And so when you wonder, what is all this about? Follow the money. Some people will do anything for money, anything. And then here is being caught in a mental prison because of this energy. So this is saying this energy, you can see this person has, this is about being duty bound. And so sometimes this can represent that the water here, I feel, is almost like all the tears this person has cried because of the energy that's happened here. And there was way more water here before, and these thoughts are now behind her. And this is what was going on behind her back and the thoughts of the people involved in that. But now this energy, she's not duty bound anymore, because the most challenging part was that she had love for these people, and she had to turn her back on them, and she has to like let them deal with this mess that they've created for themselves. And she knows it's going to be really, really, really terrible for them. And she didn't really want that. But now, like the emotion, the water in tarot represents emotion. And she's ready to take this step forward now. She's already got her right foot on dry land. And there's only one sword here, and that's the one she's going with. And that's God's plan. And so this is having the courage now to go after her heart's desires, which is staying on her destined path. And this energy, I feel like this was the tears that she cried, and now they've dried up. She still has her left foot in a puddle, but it's a very shallow puddle now. And that's not saying that her emotions are shallow. It's saying that there's way less emotion now, and she knows what she has to do, and she's going to do it. And this is talking about the magician energy. So this is an energetic upgrade. This is going after heart's desires, having the courage to have to turn your back on a lot of people that you love so that you can go after what you came on earth to do. And so the magician energy is talking about taking from heaven and bringing it down to earth and creating a beautiful garden. And we have like the tools, all the tools we need are here. Infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And the magician is pointing, as above, so below, to this judgment now coming in regarding these 3 participants and what they're celebrating. And here is the energy of the pre-empress energy. And it's saying, now you have pre-empress energy, and you're about to be an empress energy, which is like really from a lot of life experience. And without that, you wouldn't have the experience you need to be able to complete this mission. And so it wasn't for nothing. And, it was part of like the one thing that we are given is choice as human beings. And so we can choose to be in this energy, or we can choose to be in this energy. It's up to us. And once we choose, then we'll have a lot of opportunities, because God is a very forgiving God, to change that decision. And then there's just a point where, okay, judgment has to be called. And that's what we're seeing on planet Earth right now. Juggling, okay, so this is about being very busy juggling, multitasking. So this can be juggling to extremes here, but I feel like this is juggling money. Funds that are yours, funds that aren't. It's kind of that energy. This card says, juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And there's been some juggling of morals here. And it's gained momentum. The more people that are adding to it, the worse it's gotten, that kind of energy. And then here is the Page of Swords coming in with some fresh thought. And that is representing this discipline of the mind. So the Page of Swords is just like the Page of Wands has worked in the court for the King and Queen of Swords. This is about your intellect, in your, your discipline of your mind, as we discussed here. This energy, breath of fresh air. This is the Page of Swords represents a youthful energy, coming back to that time when you really believed that the world could be a really good place, and you would look at the question and you would turn, like this is the one page that is not totally focused on his element. He knows what the question is, and he knows that he wants the answer. And this is someone who can think out of the box and see what's happening. It always reminds me of a golfer. Like golfing is like a very mental sport. And this energy is representing that. If you have the first hole when you're golfing, if you have a bad game, if you don't throw your club and, freak out, and you discipline your mind, and then the next hole can be a hole in one. So that energy is talking about fresh ideas, fresh energy moving in, and having like a totally different outlook, thinking outside the box. And that's when we talked about this energy here. The heartbreak actually turns into when you can discipline your mind to have the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind, plug them into your heart energy, which is about here. Then you are going after your authentic desires. And that's what's happened here. So this is talking, although it's a very scary card, it is talking about the heartbreak down here. It's talking about probably a lover of yours was involved in this energy to drive between a couple. And, there could be a third party involvement. This could be a lot of people. There's a lot of energy here, a lot of people putting their thoughts in. This can sometimes be people getting together and setting intentions for people to have a real shifty life, and doing like a lot of energy to ruin someone else's life so that they can take these pentacles. Some people will do anything for money. And then we have this energy here. And the other thing is, this is unfortunate because a lot of people think karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect for your actions or inactions. And so if you knew about this happening and you did nothing about it, you're going to suffer the same karma. Like, it's like, you can't just be quiet when you're watching what's going on happening and knowing what's going on and then pretend, oh, well, I didn't know. So this, when you know, you know. And so this energy here is talking about the karma is coming in. And karma is cause and effect. And it's about things being put back in order. And that's what it's about. And you can't escape that, because when the universe comes back into order, everything, it's like dominoes. And so this energy is talking about when the heart heals to this point, when you actually are plugged into your authentic desires, then you're on your star path. And that's the North Star energy. And this is talking about, now you see, it's the same energy here, but now this is in the 3D. This is more on the spiritual level. And this is now, hey, now you're the star doing this. Here's your North Star. These are the Pleiades. And you are actually taking action and putting your own unique quality into the universal pool. And then you're pouring that out onto the earth. And there's 5 streams. And those 5 streams represent the pentacle. So this is saying that you will have everything you need to get the job done now, because you're on your path and the timing is now. The timing is right now. And so a tower hits. And so the tower represents when you've gone too far. And this tower is definitely this judgment coming in. And the tower hits everybody. But the tower can be have a real positive effect on some people's lives if they've been on the designated path. And at the same time, it's almost like a spiral I'm seeing, like this energy going up, like from here. And so one is going down and one is going up. And so this energy is like moving. And as this is corrected, this person, all the benefits start coming in so that they can move forward in a strong way. And all of the shift is coming down, and it's like 100-fold. And the thing is here, with karma, you can have direct karma from your own actions, and you can also have indirect karma from your ancestors and your descendants. So if your ancestors left you with a pile of shit to deal with, then, some people don't care about that. They don't care if their descendants are going to suffer the consequences of their actions. And so someone has to pay. And so that's the energy, and this can come over 100-fold. The ancestors now are like thrilled. Hey, justice is finally coming through. They've been waiting for this maybe for 2 or 3 generations. It's that kind of energy. So the reality check comes in, and boom, then shift starts to happen. And we have the Page of Pentacles now. And that's when the Page of Pentacles is saying the information about this missing money is coming in. And the star is going to have whatever they need. This is talking, you could have all the money in the world, but if it doesn't mean that you're living the lifestyle that you want to live. And we are seeing that at the top right now of the heap right now in the files that have come out, that these people who have a lot of power, and like the most powerful people in the world, and they have the looks, and they have the coin, and they have the talent, and what do they do with it? And it's like so sad, because you're watching it happen, and it's like, wow, that's what they did with it, with all their talent. That's what they did with their money. That's what they did with it's unbelievable. And so it's better not to believe in things, because you could get really disappointed. And and this is talking about needing to go inward. And really at this time, this is talking about, again, this energy here. It requires, going inward, meditating, hanging your mind on the wall, putting it to rest, so that you can go inward and confer with the universe and God and with your inner heart to know, okay, what's the next step of action to bring peace, not just to yourself, but to the world. If each and every one of us just focuses on ourselves and making our lives more peaceful, and the people in our lives, more peaceful, then it's a win for the universe, it's a win for us, and it's a win for, the people in our lives. And so this is, each and every one of us can do this for ourselves and for our families, and get into this energy of, instead of wanting to conquer and have war, have peace. And, that's the energy that we all can do. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles at the top here. So the Queen of Pentacles is talking, I feel like this energy that's coming in is, when it's all about the pentacle, because like this energy, like what these people did, look at, it's all people, you follow the money, and that's what it's about. Some people will do anything for money. And I just feel like this is saying, and the Queen of Pentacles is known for being very resourceful. And so she can make something out of nothing. And I feel like she prefers quality over quantity, and she doesn't flash her money around. She doesn't need to. She uses it to benefit herself, her family, and the world, and the universe. And that's a win-win-win. And so this is, I feel like we're going through, on an individual level, a lot of us are going through major corrections in our lives, and also on the spiritual level, for sure, it's happening. And in the world at large, we're seeing it happen, where this energy is really shifting, like a lot. Really, really interesting energy. If you've ever heard of Edward Casey, look that up, and what he talks about from the year 2026, it's really interesting. He was a prophet that was like, I can't remember how many years ago that was. And he would have these visions and that. And he actually envisioned this time in 2026. He didn't name it as 2026, but he described it. And it's mind-blowing what he saw, like way back then, because it was, I can't remember how many years ago it was. But from the bottom to the top and back down, we have like this immature competition against this earth angel energy. This is talking about having to move off to calmer waters to get over this energy. This is talking about a breath of fresh air coming in and the healing of the heart and being able to discipline the mind to be congruent with the heart's desires. And being able to do that by going inward and meditating and going to God and asking for that, for that insight that you need to get out of this never-ending nightmare energy. Having to be really resourceful at this time because there's a lot coming in at us as human beings, and it's almost like the rug being pulled out from underneath us. Everything that we thought was isn't, and everything that we hoped wasn't is. That's the way it feels right now. And you think about like, man, how much have we learned? Like here we are at war again, and it looks like it's it's like watching it on TV, like it's a sporting event or something. It's really challenging. And then this is about talking about the use of, that pentacles were actually supposed to improve everybody's lives. It wasn't supposed to, people weren't put into power so that they could be really rich and have a better life than everybody else on the planet kind of energy. And so then the tower is hitting and we are all feeling it, and it's about getting out of this prison and moving forward in a stronger way, like using our energy and not like finding like some people are working their butt off and other people are enjoying the benefits of other people's work without any consequences. This is the dark night of the soul. And I feel like the earth is in the dark night of the soul right now. We really have to look at, hey, there's got to be a better way to leave this planet for the generations following. Surely we can do better than this. And this is like a rebel with a cause energy. I feel like this is the energy of us coming together. I still have confidence that we can. And by disciplining our minds, basically, and getting back on path. I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want clarification. If you're leaving off here, this is a lot of energy and you've had enough, I don't blame you. Give it a like and comment if you've had value out of it. And I am going to clarify now. I'm doing this reading really late because I've had a very, very complicated day. And so I'm doing, I wanted to get this out though for the new moon energy. It's a good, the intuition is really high right now. All right, so I'm clarifying with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is something that I started in 2007. It's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And I've been, in 2020, I finished all 64 paintings, and now I'm getting ready to take it out. And I'm just, in the description box below, the cards that I have here represent the numbers of the paintings in my gallery on my website, and all that information will be in the description box below, along with the numbers in the order they appear. So if you want to check it out, check it out. We do have a card of transition. This card has come in for a lot of these readings in the last while, and it's always the one that pops out, and it's talking about there's a transition happening. This cutthroat energy isn't working on the planet anymore. It's shifting. We have the High Priestess energy coming in. And so again, this is about, using your intuition and your insight. And so you can't just use logic. You need to use your intuition combined with logic. We have perception. I've got a little kitty on my lap. You probably can't hear it. I'm using a noise canceling mic, but she's been purring away through this whole reading. And this is sometimes talking about having third-party energies in relationships where there wasn't an agreement to that kind of energy. This is talking about gossip and slander and that kind of energy. And it's like the grass is greener, thinking the grass is greener on the other side, and then realizing it was fake. And that happens a lot, but you could have green grass. You just have to look after it properly. Aquarius energy is coming in. And so this is talking about moving into the age of Aquarius is very different from the Pisces age. And when the horoscope signs come up in my general readings, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about the energy of that sign. And every sign has its strengths and weaknesses, and so we can learn from all of them. Now, this may be in your, you might say, no, this is an Aquarius, and that could be, but use your own insight and intuition around that, because that's not my intention. I just want us to learn from each of the signs as much as we can. And so Aquarius energy is more about, experimenting a little bit. Like, if I do it this way, is it going to be better? And if it is, then I double up on that. But if it's something that didn't work in the past, then let it go instead of trying to fix it. Like, allow that energy, take small steps in that way, and not beating yourself up and having to fix everything all the time. But like, okay, that worked, I'm going to double up on that. And I'm just going to release what isn't working and quit fighting it. Not like, there's a lot of change happening, and so we want to not fight the change. The Emperor energy is talking about high level performance. This is alpha male energy, and it's sitting right here on this energy with the rebel with the cause coming in. So this energy is shifting for sure with this transition. And we have the Empress. So now this is saying, because of all of this tribulation, that this energy now, that you are now at the Empress level, and this energy here, is the Emperor coming in. So this is what was destined to happen. That's kind of a cool energy. I didn't even notice that. So, wow. So this is talking, the pre-Empress is now an Empress, and the Knight of Wands is now an Emperor. And this energy is coming together from all that everybody's been through. So it wasn't for no reason. Denial coming in, what I don't know won't hurt me. A lot of times I feel like that's how we end up in this energy. We don't want to believe that people that we love would actually do this, so then we fight it. And it's, denial is like a tactic, and you can be in denial, but eventually it's going to catch up with you. Falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So this is about an unfettered heart chakra. So this is about, I feel this is the beginning stage of healing that heart energy, like conviction beyond a doubt. I know I want to be on this path. And you have to, like this energy here has learned, you have to look after your own needs first to be able to maintain being able to empower others. And so it's about looking after yourself and falling in love with yourself first. And then that energy, then you're strong. And that's when you can, like the Empress and Emperor together are a power couple. And it's an energy that's indefeatable. And that's maybe why the competition has been like not wanting this to come together. But it's God's plan. So if it's meant to happen, it will. It can be delayed, but you might even think it's delayed, but not in God's eyes. Just in the people on the planet's eyes. So the need to be right, sometimes it's really challenging. This is a karmic space that we can all fall into, where we would rather be right than be happy. Like, no, I was right. I insist upon it, because we can't face the idea that we were wrong. We have to, we're always, like, if you're doing something to expand your horizons, that energy, you're going to be wrong. There's going to be times where you're dead wrong, and you almost are, because of this energy coming in. We have this energy here of the Taurus energy. This is like Venus just moved into the sign of Mars, actually, or into Aries, which is ruled by Mars, on the 6th of March. And that energy is about love. And so love now is a lot more assertive than it was in the Pisces energy. And so with the Pisces moon, it's an opportunity to go soft a little bit, but it's not an energy that, you think about a toddler, they're so loving. And the Taurus energy is only the second sign in the zodiac. So this energy is about, there's a lot of love there. But when you, the give and take in life, A lot of times you may have noticed toddlers, they'll throw a fit because they don't want to share, and they can be really stubborn about that. That's why the bull is the glyph for their energy. And this is just talking about learning now that the give and take, like this is showing you how far you've come. And then this is talking about the world changing. This is the end of this journey, and it's when this tower hits, boom. Now we're in a different energy. That's what this is talking about. So the fool's cycle has now ended, and we're now in a totally different energy from this. And that's where those two spirals are shifting. And so this is talking about abuse of power. Yes, there's been a lot of abuse of power. And so that energy is a karmic space that people are going to have to deal with if they've been in that energy. Dissemination. Elephant? What elephant? I don't see an elephant in the room. It's that, be careful if you start believing in your own press that you actually can that you can outplan God in the energy of the universe. And then at the very top here, we have justice, and this is redemption from karma. Interesting, and it came out with the Virgo energy. So again, this is about communication coming in, and I feel like this is talking about all those 3 million, documents that have been dropped on us, those files, basically, where, there's justice coming in for that, and justice is also about redemption of karma. So yeah, this is talking a lot about what's happening on the earth right now, and also what can be happening in there's a lot of variations here of everyday people's lives being affected, and this is whatever's happening at the top is definitely coming as above, so below, coming down to the bottom energy. And we have the magician, and I just wanted to see who is the magician pointing at here. The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so this energy is coming in about this money being for justice and letting go of the abuse of power. So this is, I forgot to check that out. As above, so below. Just what I was saying, that if there's abuse of power at the top, there's abuse of power down here. And if there's abuse of power down here, there's going to be abuse of power up there. So everybody can't just say, oh, it's all of the elites and it's the 1% that's caused all these problems in the planet. That's not true. All right. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with another daily reading tomorrow. Okay, little kitty. Bye for now.